Hi, I'm Reba Hervas, Artistic Director of Overshadowed Theatrical Productions, where we happen to be in the middle of building our new set for our upcoming production of Noah. I hope you'll come out and see it when it's time. I got bit by the speech theater bug when I was in 5th grade. Not exactly sure when it started. I just remember starting to read books, go to movies, and being consumed with this new level of play acting. Flash forward several years, now I'm in high school. My school that I attended did not have a speech or theater program, so I would go into the high school down the street for their after-school programs, and I would sit and listen to everything that the director said because I so wanted to learn more and be part of that. Flash forward a few more years, and now I'm in college. I declare myself as a theater major, thinking that I could just continue to pretend that I am somebody else, like you can do when you're acting or directing. But no, I found out that every freshman student has to take a class called Introductory to Freshman Speech. I was terrified because for the first time I felt like I was stripped naked, so to speak, of my guard that went up in front of me, being able to pretend that I was another character. And now I really had to communicate effectively to an audience who didn't know who I was and didn't know what I was speaking about. Our speech class gave us tools that were supposed to help us with that. And very quickly at the beginning of the class, we were taught that we had to memorize and be able to recite the 10 rules of effective speaking. Number 1, the effective speaker is a person whose character, knowledge, and judgment command respect. I have to be honest with you, I was a freshman in college. I had no idea how deep that sentence was. The effective speaker is a person whose character, knowledge, and judgment command respect. Every speech class I took during those 4 years, we would have to recite those principles. And when I became a speech teacher, I also asked my students to memorize and recite those principles. Why? Because over time, I matured and I understood what that sentence really meant. Wow, what does it mean to be an effective speaker? The definition of effective is successful in production or a desired or intended result. So, an effective speaker is a person who is able to say something in a way that the message is heard and acted upon. In other words, I'm going in and I'm trying to ask my boss for a raise. I'm trying to convince you of the evils of drinking and driving. I'm giving you a devotional. All those are examples of things that you can be passionate about, that you effectively want to communicate a different message to somebody. Well, how do you do that? How do you persuade somebody with the right kind of effective speech? You organize your thoughts, you give examples, you use proper and vivid language, and you use good communication skills. Eye contact, good diction, being loud enough, pronunciation, and you try to rid yourself of distracting mannerisms when you're speaking. Now, even with those tools, you might not be considered an effective speaker if you don't have good character. What does that mean? Who is a person of good character? Generally, people are considered to have good character if they have integrity or an undivided life. In other words, you don't get to act one way and speak another. You don't get to act one way in one situation and then act an entirely different way when you're with a different group of people. I've also heard it used in speaking about structures or walls. A wall that has no cracks in it is said to have integrity. So do good speakers. They have no cracks. Honesty. Well, I think we all understand what honesty is. We've all heard it said that if you have to go in and testify in a court of law, you are asked to make an oath and say, yes, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. To hedge the truth or to color it or stretch the truth destroys the trust of everybody who follows you. Loyalty. Do you stay with your friends and the people around you even if they fail you or disappoint you? People will listen to somebody who allows them to try and fail. Abraham Lincoln has long been admired for his integrity and honesty. It was once said of him, his conscience was the strongest element of his nature. His affections were tender and warm. His whole nature was simple and sincere. He was pure, and then he was himself. In short, he had good character. The effective speaker is a person whose character, knowledge, and judgment command respect. You need to be knowledgeable about your subject matter and skilled in your speaking techniques. You need to be well informed. You'll be incapable of making an effective speech if you don't know what you're talking about. Know twice as much about your subject as the amount of time that you have to speak. But you also need to know how to speak. Going back to the examples that I gave you before, good eye contact, good use of your language. Effective speakers are also known to be perceptive observers and readers. You can continue to learn a lot about the subject matter you're going to speak on. It's not too late. Now, the effective speaker is one whose character, knowledge, and judgment command respect. Good judgment includes considering the consequences of one's decisions, thinking before you act and speak. Ask yourself, do you make decisions without all the facts? Can you filter out unnecessary information, not just things that we don't understand or that we don't agree with? Who are your trusted advisors? Are they people that not only you respect, or the people around you can respect? Can you detach yourself from a situation emotionally and intellectually so that you can analyze it correctly? The effective speaker is a person whose knowledge, character, and judgment command respect. I love that word, command. It's almost like an order to respect. Because you are effective with the way you speak, because you have the knowledge, because you have the character, because you can be trusted and have all those elements, it's like your audience can't help but listen to you. You have the ability to be that person, to be that speaker. Of all the gifts that we have received from God, none is a greater blessing than the gift of speech and the gift of being an effective speaker. This is just me talking to you from the wings.